Welcome back to another episode of the Austin Pod. I am Anthony, the ATX drinker on Instagram and TikTok. I review bars and cocktails. This is my lovely co-host, Rachel. She runs 512 Bites and Rachel Lately on Instagram and TikTok. And she's the best foodie in Austin. I was rewatching our other podcast where I was like, one of the best.
And I was like, you're on my shit list now. No, I'm just kidding.
But seriously, yeah. So you got nice balance with this podcast. You got somebody who drinks way too much and then somebody who knows the food scene better than anyone else out there. But today we have an interesting podcast.
Yes, I'm excited for today's topic. We are doing things that you should know or things you wish you knew before moving to Austin, Texas. I think before moving somewhere, it's normal to like do a little research, but some people move here just like hearing Austin is the place to be, and they move here, and then it's either the best thing that's ever happened to them, or it's a rude awakening.
And I've seen people even move away after a couple years because of it.
Yes, which is crazy to me. Couldn't be me, but I guess your experience here is just what you make it.
It's so true.
But obviously, like, it depends where you locate, where your job is. Do you have allergies?
Thank God, because the first 2 years I had the worst allergies. I remember having to call out of work when I was still working at the bank.
Oh, my God.
Because I couldn't talk to people when you're just tears are rolling down your eyes and you're sniffling.
That bad?
Oh, it was that bad where I was like, I just can't even talk to because they're going to think I'm like sick.
Interesting.
So it was that bad. And luckily, these last 2 years, I haven't had any allergies.
Okay.
So I don't know if my body just adjusted. Maybe that's a tip. Like, just push it through.
Just push through. That's so funny.
But yeah, last two years, I've been fine.
Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to get more into detail in a bit, but I wanted to do a quick recap of what we've been up to. I know you've had a pretty busy past couple weeks.
Yeah, I mean, first, I went to Kentucky for my other page, The Whiskey Boys, which is, if you like whiskey, check that out. And we visited whiskey distilleries. We went to Maker's Mark, which I have a new appreciation for. I thought they were just a random big brand, but really they do a lot of like farm to table. So they have a restaurant there, and then they had a huge like farm with different plants that they were using for the cocktails and then the food that you ate.
Wow.
It was really cool. And then they like reuse things. So a lot of the bottles that were finished with, they would use the glass to make things there, whether it was art or other stuff. So new appreciation for Maker's Mark. We also went to Jim Beam. We went to Michter's. And then I was also there for Bourbon and Beyond Music Festival, so I got to see Zach Bryan for the first time.
Oh, my gosh.
He's amazing.
Wow. That's like the most hectic weekend.
Yeah, especially because it was like you wake up, we had to fit in a whiskey distillery tour, drank a lot of whiskey at like 10 a.m., and then you had to rally and then go to the festival and keep drinking.
Wow.
And now I'm back in Austin.
That's wild. This is random about Jim Beam, but did you know that they're huge in Japan?
I did know that, yeah. And they got bought out by Suntory, who is a big whiskey brand out there.
Okay.
And now they're like together, so it's like Suntory Jim Beam is like their new name.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is random, but I went in 2015 to Tokyo and stumbled upon like a whiskey festival they were having there in the middle of the city. And Jim Beam was everywhere. And I learned through the locals that they really fuck with Jim Beam.
Yeah.
Like, they love it. And when I had it there, it was pretty good.
And that's the interesting thing is when I talk to some people, they just try like the regular Jim Beam. And yeah, that one's average. It's not that great. But what they don't realize is Jim Beam itself makes so many different great products. There's things like Booker's and Baker's and higher level Jim Beams that are out there. But the average person is just like, I hate the regular Jim Beam that you see at a dive bar.
Oh, interesting. I've actually had their orange flavored.
Oh.
And it was pretty good.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes me like have no taste, but I liked it. So
I could see you liking this, but highballs?
Yes, that's what the drink they gave me. And I was like, this hits.
It's so good. And it's really refreshing when it's hot. So I'm a big fan of highballs.
Yes. And also you just were a judge for a cocktail competition?
Yes.
What was that about?
So Still Austin, my favorite Texas whiskey, they were doing this Art of Texas cocktail competition where it was 8 bartenders from Austin, Dallas, Houston, and I think Fort Worth all competed. And then 2 of the winners from each city moved on to the championship, which was at the Still Austin Distillery.
Nice.
And then these are like the best bartenders in Texas for the most part. and then they competed, and then the winner got $5,000 because they wanted to give back to all their partners that sold Still Austin at the bars.
Wow.
And they wanted to like kind of show off their rye whiskey that they're offering.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a thank you, but another way to showcase the bartenders. And I got to like be the MC. I pretty much just got drunk on stage and introduced everyone and announced the winner. It was a really fun time.
Did you get to vote?
I didn't vote for this. I was a judge actually at the first round,
Oh, okay.
the Austin round, which was at Nickel City. And that was really fun to like, that was my first time being a judge. And I actually get emails all the time where they're like, do you want to be a judge at this competition, this competition? And I always say no. But now that I did that, it was so fun. I think I want to be a judge more often.
I do get offers like that sometimes to be a judge for something random. And if it made sense, I would agree to it. But yeah, I'm just like, I don't know. I would feel bad like not voting for a smaller restaurant or bar in Austin who
That's kind of how I felt.
yeah, like I know they're giving it their all and I probably do like them. And I just like, I don't know. I just feel guilty.
Yeah. The one interesting thing I will say for a recommendation, the 2 winners at the Austin one, so there was 8 people at
Okay.
different bars. The 2 winners were both the people from Roosevelt Room.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Right? So like
they're the
seriously,
best.
if you're looking for legit cocktails, you're not going out just to get drunk at a bar. Roosevelt Room is so good.
It is really good. So they won the $5,000.
The winner was somebody from Houston.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so she actually, if I'm not mistaken, she worked at the Houston Astros Stadium.
Oh,
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool, but super talented. She had like a whole story behind what she did, and these were like all factors in how they were judging them. So
I wish we had our own baseball team here in Austin.
I've thought about that because we're growing so fast, and there's so many people that are sports fans out here. Like, are we going to get a big team at some point?
I feel like we're headed that way.
I do too.
And what about an NFL team?
I know. I guess the only like thing that's weird is you have the Dallas Cowboys, the Houston Texans. We don't have something in San Antonio, but they could put something like in between San Antonio and Austin.
I know.
So you get fans from both.
What would we be?
I don't know. That's a good
The
question.
Austin hippies.
Yeah.
How would a hippie be good in NFL football?
There's so many weird names out there that I don't get it at this point.
I know there are some that I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. They're like, well, it
But-
goes back to 1914 when, and they're like, okay, I don't.
I'm not listening anymore. That's exciting. My days have been a little more tame, but it has been UT football season, so I am out on the streets when the football games are going on. And I tried to check out a couple bars this past weekend to go watch the game. I tried to go to the brand new Whiskey Tango Sports Club.
Oh, yeah.
It looks great. Literally, I went the day after it opened to the public, and it was so packed.
Really? And
Like-
the back's not open yet, right?
It
Just
wasn't.
the inside? Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know that going in. So I show up, and it's standing room only. Like, there's nowhere to sit. And immediately we were all just like crowded together, and we were like, oh, and we felt like in the way. But it looks great. Plenty of TVs. It is on the smaller side and inside, but I think once they get that patio open and running,
So you see the potential.
yeah, I think it's going to be like a really hot new spot on East 7th Street, a great place to go watch the game. I already love the location on West 6. We've talked about it before on this pod, but yeah, I'm excited for them. So once we failed there at getting a spot, we walked down to Austin Garden
Okay.
and also packed. Like, you would think they would have like, I don't know, somewhere to sit in that huge space, but they were so packed that we also felt like, thankfully we found standing room, but we were like, I don't know, we just felt in the way. But they also have a big screen, and the vibes were vibing. Like, everyone was hyped and cheering, and it was a great time. Something random that happened, which can I just say, you're so lucky that you are in a lovely 10-year relationship and don't have to run into like situationships. Situationships are like, I just wish I could make them all like move away. But I ran into like someone I had been speaking with like before I met my current partner, and we ended on cordial terms, but seeing him, I was like, like it was like seeing a ghost.
And you're with
He's-
your boyfriend, I'm assuming.
No, I was with just my girlfriends.
Oh, okay.
my boyfriend wouldn't have cared. But the guy did say hello, which we're cordial. And I was like, oh my God, hey. But I was just like, Austin is so small.
Yeah.
For being a poppin' big city, like, if there are people you don't want to run into to avoid awkward moments here in the city, like, you're going to run into them.
It's happened to me all the time, and not with relationships, but just people I don't want to see. And there's times where I will go, or I won't go to a bar just because I'm trying to avoid them, and I know that's like their place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what about just seeing people that's not their place?
True.
Like, this happened more when I was dating a lot in my mid-20s, but this is when I got my first taste of like the Austin dating scene and dating apps, and got into a lot of situationships that were not good for me. And there was this one guy that I just did not like him, and yet every time I went out on the town, like he'd be there.
Oh no.
And we had no mutual friends. It was hell. And then he would see me but not say hi, but then he would text me at like 2 a.m. and be like, I saw you at Barbarella today. And I'm like,
Oh God.
what is the reason for this?
What about social media? Like, as a girl, do you get like random guys that will like DM you and be like, I saw you?
Oh, 100%. And I'm like, well, this is creepy.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost worse. They go, I don't want to say hi in person, but now I'm DMing you separately.
If they had said, hey, I hope this isn't weird, but I saw you at the bar and I was too shy to say hi.
Yes.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But to be like, I saw you. And I'm just like, please don't DM me that if you saw me.
It gives creepy vibes for sure.
Yeah. Most people are chill and kind about it. One time it was when Native Hostel was the poppin' spot.
That's a great place that I wish never closed.
I know. What? You don't like Holy Moly?
Just two different things. Just two different things.
I know. But at Native Hostel during one of their DJ nights, a guy did have the what's the word? The balls to approach me. I was like, hey, are you Rachel Lately? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I follow you. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. Like, great to meet you, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, yeah, of course. And then like, kind of like, he went away for 30 minutes, or I'm listening to the DJ's music, and then he comes back later and was like, hey, so I was just wondering if like maybe you'd like to get a drink sometime. And I was like, which again, it was done in a respectful manner. So I'm just like, I wasn't, upset or scared about it, but it did catch me off guard. And so I was just like, oh,
yeah, I feel like there's a way to handle it. Like, have a conversation first, not just like, I know you on social media. Do you want to have it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, like, this was kind of weird, but, I respect the game, but I respectfully declined. That has only happened once, thankfully.
Okay.
So that's why it sticks out in my brain so much. Anyway, that's my little spiel on situationships in Austin.
Which does make me think about it. So I did want to also announce that I just started a vlog.
Hell yeah.
So I'm going to be showing more of my life in Austin, Texas, a deeper dive. But I think, I always go out to concerts and I go to bars and I'm just always out. So I think it could be interesting. And that's going to be on YouTube, the ATX Drinker on its separate page. But, those situations, I feel like now I'm going to be catching those random things of like people coming up to me. And like we were saying before, most people are friendly. And I've even met friends that came up and said, oh my God, you're the ATX Drinker. Like, can we take a picture or can we say hi to you? And then they just start chatting and they're so normal and cool that I'm like, do you want to exchange numbers?
That is nice.
Yeah. And I can think of several friends to this day that it's been a couple years now just because we met through the page. But I was talking to this other person and the way he came up to me that I'm friends with, he just like said hi, said he loved my stuff, and then he walked away. And I was like, you're cool. Why'd you walk away? And then we became friends. And then I have other people that come up, and then they're like, great to meet you. And then the conversation just naturally ends. But then they're just like, you turn, and then you turn back, and they're still just like, like, oh, so now you're just standing here.
Oh.
And I had a really weird situation once where that situation happened, and then he saw me at a bar another time. This always happens with, like, dudes. But he was like, hey, I mean, I see you're here, but you're not saying hi to me. I thought we were friends now.
Oh,
And
no.
I'm like, well, we just like met that one time, and he truly like thought I was offending him, and we're not best buds anymore. And I was like, if he just came over and said, "Hey, good to see you again," it would have been fine. But just came at it just like that. It's just like, oh, I saw you across the bar, and you haven't said hi to me. I thought we were friends. What happened?
Why do you think every weird interaction we both have is from men? What's up with that?
I don't know.
Girls are just not weirdos.
I know. Where does that come from?
I don't know. But I'm just listening. I'm like, both of our stories are
Just a random dude.
just dudes.
And
dudes
like I
be
said,
duding.
I have guy friends that have come up to me. So it's not everyone. It's just randoms.
Yeah.
I hope we're
never-
not sounding like influencers complaining right now.
No, no. No, it happens. Oh, sorry to get off topic, but I did want to mention that there is a new rooftop bar in downtown Austin.
Yes, I saw you go there, and the views look amazing.
It was super cute. It was actually a place that I went to 2 years ago called Las Bees
Yes, I do remember that. Okay.
at the Hyatt on Congress downtown, and I think they only lasted like a year, maybe a year and a half. Anyway, it's a completely different concept now. It's called Heyday Social Club, and I actually didn't like. Sorry, at Las Bees, I didn't like their drinks. I liked the views and how you didn't need a reservation to go to a rooftop bar. And this place actually had way better cocktails, in my opinion.
Okay.
And again, I only tried 2 of them, but they were really good. And I think it was a really open, welcoming vibe. And people who are in the downtown area should check it out because I think they're going to do well. I
People
hope
are
they,
always looking for great rooftop bars, so.
I know. Those, I swear, those always are what people care about.
Mm-hmm.
Rooftop bars and
Speakeasies.
speakeasies. Like, I will write hidden cocktail bar now because some people get so pissed if I say it's a speakeasy.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing about that is those posts always do the best because people like them. But you'll get a couple people that comment, everything's a speakeasy nowadays, everything's hidden. Technically, they actually are, you know, because they're down an alleyway and you can't find them or whatever. But truth is, people can hate on them, but you can see by the engagement, people obviously like them. They're sharing them with their friends. They want to go check them out.
Yeah, I get why they're popular. Like even me, when I go to another city visiting,
You'll look for them.
yeah, I want to go to a rooftop bar.
Yeah.
When I went to Charleston, I Googled best rooftop bars in Charleston, and I was jealous that they have so many more than Austin. Austin,
I know. The rooftop bar scene is a little weird in Austin.
we have like less than 10.
And then of those 10, it's hotel bars.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't have any authentic ones besides like El Cockfight is a
yeah.
hotel bar. I mean, not a hotel bar, sorry. Is a good rooftop bar in Austin. What is it? El Ama is like a really small one that you get views of like downtown from there.
I mean, kind of.
Right? It's like a mini
Coconut Club,
Coconut Club.
but that's like
Actually, yeah, no, actually I like Coconut
I
Club.
love Coconut
Yeah.
Club. They were supposed to close at the end of last year.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but I don't know, maybe that something happened where they were able to extend, but you might know this already, but the plan is to demolish Coconut Club, Rain, Highland, I think, and they're going to put like a new giant skyrise there.
I'm tired of it. I don't want these bars to keep leaving.
I know, and when that news broke, people were so pissed because Coconut Club is one of the post-COVID like bars / clubs that people actually really love, and people will come from out of town just to go to Coconut Club. Like they really made a name for themselves, and Neon Grotto and that little corner for the LGBTQ community. It's just been so substantial, and I truly hope that, I don't know, a miracle happens and they don't leave us because that would suck.
Well, speaking of great bars that hopefully won't leave us in Austin, Texas, that people will visit from out of town, that people truly love, that's been around for a while. I just went to Egos, which is off of South Congress, and they were recently supposed to close because of some plumbing issues.
Oh.
The person that owned the property didn't want to fix it, and they were going to do renovations, so they were just going to like cancel everything out. But then they decided that they were able to get it fixed, and this place is special. Egos is probably the best karaoke bar in Austin, Texas. And what I found from talking to other people, because I've gone at random times. I've gone like during the day, I've gone at night. But I didn't realize that every night after about 9 p.m., they're actually busy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy because that's not a thing in Austin. Like most bars, Monday through Thursday are slow.
Are they
and then the
open on
weekends-
Monday?
I don't know if they're open on Monday, but I know the other days. And yeah, people local. It was wild because it was like half locals, and you could tell it's like half people that are visiting Austin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and great karaoke bar. It does give you a really good dive feel. So if you like dive bars, you would love it there as well. But
Dude.
Egos is one that is a true Austin spot.
100%. On weekends, whenever I would go, the line is wrapped around the corner.
I can see that.
And I'm just like, like, just let me in.
Yeah.
My friend actually got banned from Egos.
No way. What did she do?
Um,
Could you say?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it had anything to do with his behavior. Yes, it did. Anyway, I'm like, wait, I can't like out him right now.
Well, let's throw one more out there since we're talking about great bars because I did go to one other one. East 6th Street is a street where it gets a little crazier now on the weekends. Some people say all the rainy crowd went over there. But over on, is it 4th Street? I think it's 4th Street. Or Coral Snake is a bar that people have to check out.
Cesar Chavez.
Cesar Chavez, that's it. So the Coral Snake is right next to High Noon. It's across the street from Drinks Lounge. And it is a great bar if you want to see a live band. They actually make really good cocktails as well. And I didn't feel like I wasn't spotlighting it enough before. So now I like really want people to know about it. Because like I said, if you want the crazy party atmosphere, that's almost become East 6th Street. But over there, you have multiple bars in that section that's a little more laid back, but you can still have fun and see live music. So I can't speak highly enough about that area. And I feel like true Austinites or people who love the music scene in Austin would just have an appreciation for that. So if you haven't been yet, go to Coral Snake.
I used to love that bar when it was Stay Gold. It's very similar vibes, like chill. And they had like a grilled cheese food truck in the back. That was the best grilled cheese I ever had in my life. And then it went away and I was pissed. But I don't even remember what it became after that. Do you?
I do. It's a bar that's open up north, and I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, okay.
And it comes up on Google, but it's not low down. Long Play Lounge.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that, because there is a second location up north.
Oh.
I'm totally blanking on it. But yeah, they just like renamed it or something. I don't know if the owner split or what.
Oh, okay. The Coral Snake.
The Coral Snake is its name now.
Okay.
And I talked to the bartender, and he made it sound like, they just transitioned over, but it's the same people and they're doing stuff.
Oh, nice.
But wonderful experience.
I do agree that for people who just complain that East 6 is insane and too crowded and busy, that they should mosey on down to East Cesar Chavez Street, because it's just got those, how many bars is it? 3 or 4?
4 or 5, yeah.
Right there.
Buckets.
Buckets. That's a dive bar.
Yeah.
I actually like that bar. But all walking distance within each other and not overly crowded, like you said. Especially not with like the frat crowd or the UT kids crowd that goes to East 6 now. So if that's what you're looking for, East Cesar Chavez.
Agreed.
I just want to bring up one more thing before our main topic today. And this episode is going to come out before Halloween. So I asked my audience on Instagram, what are the most 2024 Halloween relatable costumes that you predict are going to be out this year? Did you have any guesses off the top of your head?
For sure, Beetlejuice.
Yes. So Beetlejuice was the number 2 most popular answer.
Okay.
Number 1 was the Australian breakdancer from the Olympics.
Oh, that's so funny.
I know. And I'm like, everyone's going to be like dancing like an idiot. And I'm like, that's really clever.
Yeah, because you're going to have to at least show off some skills before you could say who you are.
Yes. And then we got Chapel Roan and Sabrina Carpenter, which, did you see that Chapel Roan recently canceled on the fest she was supposed to perform?
Which makes me nervous.
Okay, again, this episode's going to come out after ACL Fest Weekend 1.
Most likely, Weekend
1. Chapel Roan canceled on the festival she's supposed to perform at this weekend. This just happened this morning or last night.
I saw it like driving here.
Yeah, and I'm really nervous that she's going to cancel on ACL Fest, which is a week away at this point.
Hopefully because she announced those places that she's planning on ACL. Like she probably would have included that if she was going to cancel for ACL too.
Yeah.
But it's going to be packed. Get ready for
know.
that.
But imagine the amount of refund requests that C3 will receive
Oh, for sure.
if Chapel Roan cancels.
I feel like 20% of the people, 30% are just going just for her.
Oh, I have gotten so many DMs like, I'm so excited for Chapel. Like, people are crazy for her, which rightfully so. She's amazing.
Yeah.
So hopefully by the time this episode comes out, she has come to ACL Fest because I too want to see her really bad. Moving on, Halloween costumes, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Oh, okay.
This is because a popular
That show, right?
documentary came out about them, which I watched, and it was really sad.
Really? I didn't watch it.
It's really sad. I did not know that the cheerleaders made so little money. Not like pennies, but definitely not as much as you'd expect them to make.
It's more of just like a cool thing to say you're a cheerleader.
It's definitely for like to have that, you know, it's a life experience. It's also something to say you've done. You're in the history books with them, which is pretty incredible. And those women, like, they are just the hardest workers I have ever seen. Didn't know how much went into that. Moving on, we've got Brat Summer, and somehow people are going to do a costume about being very demure. I don't know how they'll do that. Moo Dang, the baby hippo. Which
I don't know how you're going to do that. That's funny, though.
I don't know, but I could see, like, parents dressing up their baby as, like, a little hippo. House of Dragon characters, Love Island cast, the Hawk Tuah girl, which, how are you gonna?
Yeah, somebody will find a way.
That's, a lot of people said her, and I was like, how are y'all gonna do that?
Yeah.
And then, I don't know who the chimp crazy lady is.
Oh, yeah, there was like a Netflix documentary that just came out where this lady, she pretty much owns like 8 chimps. And it's like her children. She's like, I love them more than my own kids. And then they like cut to the kid being like, yeah, my mom doesn't care about us.
Oh my gosh.
It's a good show to watch. We started it. We're like halfway through.
What is this show called?
I think it's called Chimp Crazy.
I literally was like, I have no idea what this is.
And she has like Botox and she gets like her hair done. She has like a dark tan. But all she does all day is like take care of her chimps. So I think it was a bounce off of Tiger King. And this is like that director's next one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should I watch it?
I think so, if you're into that stuff. Kelsey was like freaking out about watching it, but she loves animals and stuff, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then random was the Challengers cast.
Ah, yeah.
That movie was pretty popular this year.
I want to see it.
I haven't yet. Childless Cat Lady, because of what that J.D. Vance guy said about women.
Okay.
Taylor and Travis again. Mormon Wives. Joker and Harley Quinn again.
Oh, for sure.
New movie coming out. I really hope it's good.
I know. I heard mixed things.
Stop.
Yeah.
Already? It hasn't even come out yet.
The problem is the first one was so good.
It was so
it's
good.
like going to be hard to compete, but hopefully it's still good.
Yeah. Anyway, that is mainly it.
I like that. That was some good ones.
I love Halloween, so
Do you
I'm
dress
excited.
up?
Yes, but I don't know what I'm gonna do this year.
Okay.
It's kind of pressure to dress up, and then
I know.
and then I end up doing something really last minute.
Same.
And lazy.
Yep. I'm going to need something because I'm sure like Halloween for the bars, or there's going to be one event we go to where everybody else is dressing up.
Are there any? I think we already mentioned the Halloween bars, but
Yes.
I could have swore there was a new one this year. Anyway.
There is a one that I don't think we brought up, but I did see they're having it again. It's called like the Black Lagoon, and it's going to be at King B. Is that the right one, or am I mixing up the place? I feel bad if it's that's off of 11th East 11th, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, at the King B they do like a Black Lagoon, and it's these people that actually come in to help them decorate and set up. Really
Hell
good.
yeah. And I do remember at the Halloween bars we talked about, I said Lucille's always has a new theme every year. I found out their theme this year is Beetlejuice.
Oh,
so
okay.
if you dress like Beetlejuice or you love the movies and you want to do something fun, Lucille's on Rainy Street will have a Beetlejuice.
That's a good one. And then I know off the top of my head is Kung Fu off of West 6. They usually have a speakeasy that they always remodel for the season, and then they'll have like some type of theme in there.
Oh yeah, it was Barbie.
Yeah, so I
last
wonder
year,
what they're
right?
going to be doing for this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And before Barbie, it was Game of Thrones theme, I think.
And I don't know if they're doing it again, but this is a really good one for like a pop-up bar for the seasons, for Christmas and Halloween. But last year, Cosmic Saltillo did a Christmas secret bar like in their upstairs room.
The Rooftop?
Yeah,
What?
yeah. And
How come no one posted about it?
I did.
You did?
Yeah, it like, went viral too.
How did I miss that?
I know. I was like, nobody's talking about it. As soon as I heard about it, like, went over there because I can walk there from where I'm at. And I showed it off. It was super cool.
Wow.
So I think they're going to probably do something for Halloween, I'm assuming.
I know they like to put out a bunch of pumpkins. They did this last year, and I took like some cute photos of it. So if you want to be around a coffee shop with a shit ton of pumpkins, actually Cosmic Saltillo and Cosmic on Pickle Road, they both go all out with the pumpkins.
Love that.
Okay, should we get into the main?
Let's do this because we have so many submissions from people. We're going to be talking about things that we wish we knew before moving to Austin, Texas, or we ask people to tell us things they wish they knew before moving to Austin, Texas, or things you should know. There's like 3 ways of putting it because obviously you've been here for a while and I haven't been here as long as you, but
Yeah, we crowdsourced both of our audiences to see what they wish they knew or what they wish other people knew before moving to Austin, because there's so much you could say. I think the number one response I got was how terrible the traffic is.
yeah, let's jump into that a little bit. For the people that are listening that might be moving here or the people that are still trying to learn about Austin, here's what I know is that the traffic's really bad, definitely during rush hour, and it's really bad going north-south. If you live close to downtown and you're going east-west, it's not that bad. I would say that if you're going to get a job here, live as close to your job as possible.
I actually hate going east-west as well.
Really?
Like-
I mean, I live in East Austin. I can get to west downtown in like 7 minutes.
But that's because you're like right on 6th Street.
Yeah.
And so it's a straight shot for you. I have to go down Cesar Chavez
Okay.
to get to the east side, which the east side is where most of the time me and my friends go out. And during rush hour, East Cesar Chavez is the worst because there's not many options to get over.
Yeah.
Like I can either go down Riverside, East Cesar Chavez, or go into downtown and over on 15th Street.
Because you still have to cross the bridge, right?
Yes.
Okay, because that's also part of like the challenge. You have to like go north and then east.
Yes.
But yeah,
And
downtown gets a little rough at times during rush hour.
yeah. I mean, you could say this for any city, but if you just really try to avoid peak rush hour times, which what would you say? It's like 4:30 to 6:30. I feel like that's the worst of it, especially on obviously I-35 and Mopac going north and south. But I agree with you. If you move here for a job, you should try to live close to your job.
I'm very passionate about that. I've done it before where I made the mistake of moving to South Austin once, and I'm like, okay, I look at the GPS and it only says 18 minutes to downtown. That's not bad. And then you live there, and rush hour happens, and it's 35, 40 minutes. And then even the 18 minutes, you don't want to take an Uber all the way to downtown every time you go out.
It is crazy how like marketing from apartments trying to get you to move there, either in super South Austin or super North Austin, whatever. They'll say like only 10 minutes to downtown.
Yep.
I'm like, that is such a lie. Like, because you're not factoring in the traffic.
Yep, and even the GPSs are wrong sometimes because they'll say 15 minutes, but then after you like do the math, it ended up being 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. I especially am in awe of the domain marketing, how they have convinced so many new people moving in to move up there. I don't know why. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but it is a mall and it is a ways from like mainly East Austin, which is like the main hubbub of where people like to go out.
Yeah,
So
for nightlife, for sure.
yeah, and people all tell me when they've moved there first and they got a bad realization that every Uber to the east side was like $60+ dollars. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, so that's another thing to weigh out. Work and live close to each other. But also, what's more important? Is it the things you want to do, the nightlife going out, or is it your drive to work every day? Because if it's nightlife, then maybe you can sacrifice your drive to work and just live downtown or live in East Austin, which I live in East Austin for that reason. I want to be as close as possible to all the bars.
Yeah.
And then when I want to, it's only 10 minutes to downtown, or I can even walk, honestly.
Yeah, I agree. You either care your homebody, so you care more about living close to where you work, or you want to go out a lot, be somewhere more walkable. Then I would try to like rethink what your priorities
So
are.
we're slightly different. So let's give that recommendation. So for me, as somebody who does go out every single weekend, and I do like to be near the energy, and I like people walking down the street from where I live off the balcony and watch them and all that stuff. I chose near that East 6th Street area. There's some great locations over there, but if I were moving here, that's what I would recommend to people. For you, what would you recommend if somebody was like moving here and they're trying to live in a great spot? It doesn't even have to be similar to what I said, but just based off of what you love, where would you recommend?
I get that DM a lot from people, and I always say that I highly recommend living in the zip code, the '04 zip code, 78704, which expands from like Zilker area, South Lamar, South First Street, South Congress, because I think that huge area is like a great living area, even though it's not in the heart of East 6, where every fun bar is right now. It's still like close enough where you can do things and then take an Uber.
I agree.
So yeah,
The Zilker area is amazing. It's just a little pricey over there, but you can go over to South Lamar and you can find some great spots.
yes, I used to live on South Lamar after I graduated, and I was like right by the Radio Coffee and bar, and I loved being walkable to that. That was really nice. And now I'm not walkable to a coffee shop, and I'm just like, I miss that.
Yeah, I mean that's the biggest recommendation I can give is to definitely be near some stuff. Don't fall for the trap of them convincing you that you'll get a free month at the apartment you're living at, and then you're just a 10-minute drive to some things. Like, at least be near something.
Agreed. I will say, coming from San Antonio, though, I thought the traffic there was worse. Is worse. Whenever I visit my parents, I'm just like, I hate driving here. And going anywhere to see my old high school friends in San Antonio who are still there, or my family, everything is like a 45-minute drive, no matter what.
I believe you.
And so I just don't like even going unless it's obviously I go for Thanksgiving and Christmas. But yeah, I compare living in Austin to that, and I think we have it way easier here.
I will say that, yeah. If you're coming from like an LA, a New York City, another big city that's out there, you're not going to be that stressed out by the traffic. I don't think it's that bad compared to those places.
Agreed. And then the second most popular thing was people didn't realize how expensive it is to live here.
Yeah, because that used to be a thing, right? Like 10 to 20 years ago, I mean, even further, that Austin was known as a cheap city to move to, and you could just eat at food trucks all the time and go to shows for no cover. But it's evolved the last 10 years to not be that anymore.
I will say rent is going down a little bit.
It definitely went down because I think it reached like a crazy peak where like a one bedroom was over $2,000 if you're near downtown. But you're right. In this last couple months, I mean, we even switched to a 2-bedroom because we were paying like $1,900 for one bedroom, and then there was a 2-bedroom available for $2,200, which I don't think is still out there like that. But that's amazing for East Austin to be near stuff. But yeah, it's still, I think it's like cost of living in general.
I noticed that a lot of these complaints, like, it depends, like, where are you coming from? Because if you are born and raised in Texas, you're kind of used to this, like, cheaper way of living. But if you're coming from California or the Pacific Northwest or New England, you know, it's way more expensive to live in those popular cities. As you know, New York, LA, Miami, Portland, Seattle, like, anyone that comes from one of those places tells me, like, people should not be complaining here.
Yeah.
Like y'all really have it good. And so I think that is important to note.
Yeah, I think to be able to live in such a great city at the cost, I think it's worth it.
And we talk about this all the time. Like, there are places to go here where you don't have to pay $18 for a cocktail. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
Like they're out there.
They're out there. That's what I mean. And there still are cheaper food trucks. There is a ways around that. You just got to know where to go, and you can't just walk down the street and hope you're going to find it. You have to know where they're at.
And that's why you should follow us. Do you want to give one?
Yeah, I mean, let me pull up my list here. I know I had an interesting one where somebody said trying to find jobs are hard out here
Oh.
because most of them are like scams.
Oh. That almost happened to me one time. I was looking for a new job like 2016, I think, and this company was like, we're hiring marketing people by like the groups of 100, basically making it sound like we're fast hiring.
Yeah.
You know. And so I showed up for an in-person interview, and there were so many people there, and I immediately was just getting weird vibes. And yeah, I think I did one interview and they were like, "You're hired," and I was like, I don't feel good about this. I just got out of there and just was like, this was a scam. But
Because I read that Austin is a great place to find a job, but I think that's probably what it is. It's like, yeah, you can find a job, but is it a good job?
yeah, I don't know. We're supposed to be the next big tech hub.
Yeah.
So
So they might be a lot of places that will get you hired quick, but then it might not last that long. They might let people go quicker.
I noticed over the past couple years, there have been more layoffs at these big tech companies. Like Tesla laid off a bunch of people recently. Google, even people I know got affected by this. Facebook. So that is interesting.
I got someone that said how hard it is to make friends out here.
Oh, we are going to do a whole separate episode on that. But just to summarize it, I think you really do have to like push yourself out of your comfort zone in order to meet people.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to understand that you can't just meet someone and immediately like, okay, we're best friends now.
That's a great point.
Like true friendships that have depth to them are going to take time to get to know them, get to know their surface level version of them, get to know them when they're out and about, get to know them one-on-one in a group setting. Like there's so many versions of this person that you haven't met yet.
So true.
And you can't just do that in one meet and greet, you know? Like it's going to take time. And I feel like we are used to this like instant gratification lately that
That's a great point.
that thought, it sounds kind of like, oh, I don't have time for that. But it's worth it in the end because you get, hopefully, a new friend that will last years.
That's how I feel about my friend group. When I first met them, it was just like, oh, when are we going to hang out again? You never knew. And then memories just happen over time. And now we like love each other. Like those are friends for life because it took that time of building those memories. But I didn't know that right away.
Yeah.
You know, and even us, like we met and we weren't day one, like, you want to do a podcast together?
Yeah, yeah.
No, we had to like learn who we were and then realize that, okay, cool, we can talk and flow very well together and all this stuff. So it takes time. That's a great point. But yeah, get yourself out there, join clubs, whatever your hobby is. There's going to be other people here that have the same hobbies as you.
Yeah,
So.
agreed. We will be doing a separate episode on how to make friends in Austin because I think that's something a lot of people ask us about and people want to know. I know if I were moving to a new city and knew nobody, that I would also be like doing all the research to be like, how do I make friends here? So we've got that coming for you on the horizon.
I have a good one for you before you jump back into your list. Somebody said how hard it is to get into restaurants because you have to make a reservation almost everywhere.
This is I feel like this is a post-COVID new thing with Austin because before COVID, I feel like that wasn't really an issue.
Yeah.
And then we've had a lot of new more upscale, more hyped about restaurants that people want to go to. I guess my off the bat recommendation is that when a place first opens, don't try to go within the first month or two that it opens because everyone's going to be trying to go. There are some places, obviously, that still require reservation no matter how long they've been open, like Paperboy, which is crazy because they used to be a food truck. But they're opening a second location
Amazing.
on South Lamar, so I'm excited for that. But yeah, I see what they mean.
Yeah, and Red Ash always comes to mind because that's like known as one of the best Italian restaurants in Austin, and it's a 3 to 4 month reservation wait.
Oh my gosh. I know I've already said this, but because I had a resi last year and then the fire happened, I now have one in November.
Okay.
And I'm just like, I better not jinx it because I haven't been yet and
It's
I want to
amazing.
go.
And it sounds crazy, but they have a really good steak there. But I know you can get like a Wednesday at like 9:30 p.m. or something.
Listen, if you are willing to eat on elderly time, like go at 5 p.m. when they
Yeah.
open, you can get seated. That's what I do. That's what food bloggers have to do, especially when it gets dark at night or dark earlier in the night.
I know.
That's coming up. Or you can eat as if you're 16 and go at like 9:30.
It's so wild.
I know. Me personally, I love to go to food trucks because you don't need a reservation there.
Yep. I'm the same way. I don't plan things. I have an issue with planning, so.
Yeah.
That's why so many people are like, you haven't been there yet? I thought you're the ATX drinker. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't set reservations. I just like an hour before, I'm like, let's do this.
And sometimes in those instances, you can get lucky.
True. Yeah.
Like I feel like we're not as a busy of city as like New York, for example, that, you can still go places and
Yeah.
make it be okay.
I'm also bad with that with like when we get invited out to influencer things. I'm like, sorry, I don't know what's going to be going on 3 days from now. I can't commit. And that's why I ended up just going by myself and just paying for myself because I just can't commit to the day that they're doing their party.
I definitely want to just go on my own time
Yeah,
with those
exactly.
things. Just because I feel a lot of pressure.
Yep.
You relate to this one, but people said they did not expect how bad their allergies would be.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're coming to like a new area that your body's not used to, there's a good chance, especially if you're somebody that already has allergies, you're going to get some pretty bad allergies here. And yeah, when I was working 9 to 5, there were several days I had to leave work because it just hit me so hard. I might be a different case because, like I said, the last 2 years I haven't got allergies, so maybe my
Yeah.
body got used to it in the first 2 to 3 years.
That's so interesting because I know lifelong Texans who still get bad allergies.
I don't know what happened. I'm so grateful.
Yeah, knock on wood.
What about you? Do you get?
I don't get them to the degree that I've seen people say that they like can't function.
Okay.
I've gotten them where it's like, this is annoying, but some people like you said, stay home or their whole week is ruined. They can't think, they can't function. I've never had it that bad.
Okay.
So, knock on wood. A lot of people said they didn't expect how gross the bugs would be here, the bug situation. Like mosquitoes, cockroaches, flying crickets flying at you.
Yeah, where I'm from, there's like no cockroaches, so it's like crazy to see so many cockroaches.
Really?
And like where I'm from, you would view that as like a disgusting place. Because it's so rare to see them.
Wow.
So like, oh, was it trashy here? Why am I seeing cockroaches? But I think it's also probably the warmer weather and things like that.
Yeah. Especially if you live near the water or a creek, the creek that runs through the city, you have a higher chance of seeing cockroaches.
Yeah.
But if you get an apartment complex, just aim to be on the top or near the top floor, and that helps.
Yep. And I remember flies were pretty bad. There's times where I think it's like when the summer starts or springtime, and you'll go to some bars and they're just like all over stuff, and it's terrible.
Oh my gosh. Every restaurant needs one of those fly
Yes.
fans, especially if there's like a patio, because the flies, they have no shame. Like, it's gross. Do you get bit by mosquitoes?
A little bit. I'm not too crazy. Kelsey says they just like follow her everywhere.
Same. I really want to know like if it's a certain blood type
Me
that
too.
mosquitoes go for. Because when me and my boyfriend are together, he never gets bit, and I'm chewed up. It's insane. I also, a couple years ago, had a flea infestation in my apartment, and that was hell on earth.
Oh God.
Yeah, immediately it's just all over my ankles, and I had to get my apartment the exterminator had to come multiple times.
Can you see them? Like, are they
Yeah.
visible?
Yeah, and I tried to like pick them up and like flush them, but like I googled them. They're impervious to water. Like they have some kind of shell around them that protects them. You can't drown them, is what I mean to say.
Or like, what apartment building was it so we can shout them out?
I don't want to get stalked, so that was hell. And then obviously a big one people said was the heat.
The heat. Yeah, I mean, I feel like people should know this coming here, but it's rough. I mean, 3 months, it's over 100 degrees.
Usually, yeah. I feel like it starts in May and doesn't let up until maybe September.
Yeah.
But even in September and October, as we know, it's still hot.
Like, there's going to be a day at ACL that's probably going to be brutal.
No, like literally it's being predicted the 90s. And I'm just like, no.
Exactly.
Were you there that year that it was cold and
Yes.
everyone was in a jacket?
Yeah.
Dude.
Like, what I would do for that.
People are praying that happens again. And I'm like, no, dude.
And then one of the submissions I got was how cold it actually gets in December, January.
Are you serious?
And I almost want to agree.
No way. You're from
Yes.
New Jersey.
But the reason why I say that is just because it just drops so drastically. So it's like, okay, cool. It's October and we're having 90 degrees.
yeah.
But then you're going to go down to 50. I'm like, why can't it be 100, 90, 80, 70?
Yeah.
Like, no, there's no it's just like,
Okay, the drop is intense sometimes.
that's what it is.
And
it's not bad winters. It's more of
Right.
just like a shock with
It
how
is-
cold it gets.
True.
And I remember, I don't know if you went, but I went to that EDM music festival last year, and we were wearing winter coats and hats because it got so cold.
Oh.
Yeah.
What month?
It was the one with beatbox. It was November.
Was it blended?
No, it was EDM, more EDM. Actually, speaking of which, we went to Seismic, and it was like crazy cold.
Yeah.
You know, so
That was insane.
yeah.
Early November is usually cold.
And I'm like, how like a month before that, it's fine.
I know. Oh, I know. It's crazy that it usually the drop happens like the last week of October or Halloween.
Yeah.
Like clockwork.
Yep. And then I'm like, I just bought a flannel.
You got to get that flannel. And we already had our false fall. Every year there's a false fall, and it already happened.
Yep.
I think it was mid-August or early September.
I think, yeah, early September probably.
Yeah, where everyone was posting on their patio, like, it's 67 right now. Oh my
amazing.
God. I know, it was amazing. But I remember loving it and being like, it's a shame that this is about to go away again.
Yep.
And now ACL, I'm going to be sweating my ass off. But yeah, it's super hot here, y'all. But I noticed a lot of places in the summer, it's hot there too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
We do have it worse, but
I mean, when I visited New York, it was like crazy hot that one week. And they're like, you're here when it's 100. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
I know.
I wanted to get away from the heat for a little bit.
I do think Houston has it even worse than
I've heard
we
that.
do.
I heard the humidity is absolutely brutal out there.
Yeah, I think I've said this before, but I fainted in Houston.
Wow.
Like, that's how bad it was. And I'm just like, how do y'all live like this? And every time I make a post about the heat, just poking fun at it, I'll get some people from Florida in the comments like, Texans don't even know heat. Like, come on down to Florida and we'll show you real heat. And
Yeah,
I'm just
right.
like, go away.
What's your favorite city outside of Austin? That's in Texas.
Oh, that's in Texas? I mean, I feel like I'll be a dick if I don't say my hometown.
I was wondering that if you were going to say San Antonio.
But to be honest, if I'm being not biased, then I would probably go to Dallas.
Okay, why?
I think it's more tight knit than San Antonio, which is super spread out. I like that there are areas of Dallas that you can walk, I believe, a little bit, like a walkable neighborhood. I like that they have a gayborhood, which was super cute. And obviously they have like sports teams that are fun. I went to their farmers market one time I was visiting, and it was a lot nicer than the Austin farmers markets.
I've heard they had the most restaurants in like any city by like per capita or whatever. Like, yeah. So there was some article I read that was talking about that. But they just have so many restaurants out there.
I didn't know that. I did like their little area called Greenpoint.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called. It was super cute and walkable, like I said. And I do, again, I love San Antonio, but I just feel like whenever people say we have walkable places too, that they're just talking about the Pearl, which is new-ish.
Yeah.
No hate to my hometown, though. Love y'all. Moving on, people said it's hard to rely on public transportation here. You need a car to get everywhere.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the only time I would disagree with that is if you work downtown and you live downtown, or if you work like walkable in East Austin, and same thing. Because then if you do go out to other places, you could just rent a car, you could take a Lyft or an Uber, and you'll probably be fine. But yeah, if you're anywhere south of Lady Bird, if you're at the Domain, all these other outside places, it's impossible. There's just no way. They do have the one train that goes through East Austin up north, but you would have to plan to be like at an apartment or in a house that's connected.
Is that train free?
No, I think it's like $1 though. It's like
Okay.
super cheap. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong.
I still need to do it. I'm just like, why would I drive my car to that station,
know.
park, and then get on the train?
Which is cool. They like extended it not too long ago, but it goes all the way to downtown, and then it goes all the way to East Austin, and then it like loops back around to go up to the
Stadium?
stadium or like near the Domain area. So there's definitely ways, and I almost considered living in an apartment building that was like right where it's at in like northeast Austin, so that it was a cheaper rent at the time. Saved like $400 a month than living in like the good East Austin.
Do you remember what street it was on? MLK?
I think it was MLK.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then yeah, you just like walk out your door and the train's there, and you can take it to either East Austin or like East 6th Street or downtown
Wow.
for like nothing.
I do wish we had a train that just circled Austin, and that would be so nice.
I know the dream is to like have one that's north south.
Yeah.
But I know, what was it? Dirty Martins was gonna get closed because they were looking to maybe like put a train there.
Did that stop?
Right now, I think they're staying open, but there's just like they keep bringing it up in conversation, so they're always like fighting to stay open.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This one was controversial, but a few people said not a lot of good hiking spots or camping spots. Not a lot of nature here.
I mean, I guess where they compare, maybe they're like comparing it to Denver or something, because
I know if you compare it to, like you said, Denver or the Pacific Northwest, then
Sure.
yeah, we don't have as much as them. But I
Yeah.
still think that like there are 5 state parks within an hour and a half from Austin.
yeah,
McKinney, Enchanted Rock, Lockhart, Palmetto. Yeah.
it's a very green city.
Yes. That's what I think we've said we like about it, that it's like a combination of city life, but real easy access to nature and all that good stuff that we need.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I chose here. I remember looking at Dallas, and I'm like, Dallas, there's no hiking out there. You can find tons of trails out here.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like we do have a bunch of trails. Granted, it's better to do them in the fall or the spring, but I think we do have a good amount. I would love for this person, I'd love to know where this person is coming from.
Yeah. And then if you haven't been here, most of the people who have know about it, but Mount Bonnell is an awesome little spot to go hit up. It's pretty much like you just walk up a couple steps after you park to get there, but the view is incredible from Mount Bonnell.
One thing about Mount Bonnell is if you drive there, make sure your car is locked and you have no valuables in your car, because it is known for like theft to
Interesting.
happen.
Which is funny because it's like a rich area.
Yeah, I think that's why
Okay.
like these criminals know that it's a rich area and people just leave their car unattended and go up to the top of Mount Bonnell. And yeah, time and time again.
That's crazy.
I hear things every time, or everyone I know that's been has a story. And then the last big thing I have is people, of course, were complaining about the dating scene here in Austin and the constant Peter Pan syndrome that they encounter here with dating.
Yeah, that's 100% real. You know, I know the Peter Pan, you can probably explain that one more. I know from what my knowledge is, a big thing in the dating is like there's so many people here and there's a lot of good looking people here. So nobody ever wants to commit because they're just like, you're great, but I'm also talking to this other person, or I want to wait for this other person. And it's like, hey, are you happy right now? Because if you're happy, then just keep hanging out with that person. But people just can't wrap their head around it.
Yeah, I agree. And I do see how like Austin is seen as like Neverland, because it is such a young city. A lot of people who graduate immediately move here, and it's also a transient city. Like, people don't plan to stay here long. They plan to enjoy a good amount of their 20s here and then move back home. Maybe they want to settle down, have a family, and they don't see Austin as like the end all be all, especially because it's really hard for families to live in central Austin because it is so expensive. So I totally get how the dating scene here can seem impossible. It's definitely rough, but it's not impossible because I know tons and tons of people who have met and connected and have healthy relationships here.
How did you meet your boyfriend?
We met through a mutual acquaintance. He had always been like a degree of separation away, if that makes sense. And I remember I knew of him like a year before I met him because this mutual friend like posted him on her story one time, and I just like did a little creeping and looked at who he was, and I thought he was cute, but it was very apparent from his Instagram that he had a girlfriend. So I was just like, oh, okay, whatever. And
then you guys cheated, and then they broke.
No.
No, I'm kidding. I just made that up.
Insane. No. And then I had a relationship, and then when I was single again, I did get back on the apps, which I hate admitting. This was like early 2023. And while I was scrolling, I saw his profile, and I'm like, oh, so he's single. And I thought about like making a move right then, but because we have so many mutual friends, I was like, I feel like one day I'll be able to meet him organically.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's not impossible. So I didn't make a move on Hinge, even though I wanted to, but I didn't.
I like that you were scheming a little bit.
But at least this time I like trusted the process, that I was like,
Yes.
because meeting from an app, there's nothing wrong with it. But if I already like knew someone who knows him, I'm like, I feel like I'll just meet him naturally. So didn't make a move, but it did tell me he was
That's
single.
wild.
And then literally 4 months after that, I went to a Slender Bodies show at Empire, and my friend brought him along with multiple people. And she literally was like, this is my friend. And like, I feel like she stepped aside, and I feel like I blacked out because it was his face that I had seen on Instagram and Hinge. And I was like, oh shit, this is how we meet. Like, oh my God. And thankfully he was a super sweet and charming person, and we hit it off right away. And the show was great. And then it was sorry, I'm going off right now.
No.
It was so nice that like a group of us got to watch the show together and then go to 7 Grand down the street. And it was a group of us, so it wasn't like there was any pressure.
Yeah.
Because you can talk to him or you can talk to your friends, and we all talk to each other.
Yep.
And then the night kept flowing. We went to Barb's, and it was past 2 a.m. And I've said this before, but I do not stay out past 2 a.m. anymore. And the fact that I was there talking to him at Barb's at like 3 a.m, I was like, I like him.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that.
Yeah. So again, it's not impossible to meet people here. And there are people who, if you just click, you click. And I say this time and time again, but if a guy or girl like really likes you, like they're going to want to date you,
Yeah.
and you won't be confused.
Yep.
If you're confused, they don't like you as much as you think.
100%.
It's like my number one piece of advice. I'm
And,
like, if you're
I mean,
confused, no.
It's always like when you're not looking, you find someone, and then when you are, it never works out because there's something desperate in all of us. So it's like,
Wait, what?
well, like I remember when I got out of my last relationship, I kind of was like, I miss being in a relationship. I was like, I got to find someone else. And for 3 months, I was like in that mindset. So there was something in me. So maybe when I was talking to people, it was kind of showing, is this going to work? Are we good? Whatever. And then I got like my confidence back after being single for a while. And I was like, I'm about to just do my thing. I'm not talking to no one. And then I met Kelsey.
Oh my God, literally.
So it's like as soon as I was like ready to just do my thing, that's when the person came into my life. So it's kind of, you kind of have to just go with the flow and not care. And then you meet people.
Which is so annoying if you think about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
This should be this effort thing, but
it's hard for me to not care because, yeah, but I did just try to, in my single singledom. I just try to focus on myself and
Yep.
make myself a better person while I'm waiting for, someone good to come into my life.
Mm-hmm.
And he's great. It's been over a year now. Love him to death. I don't I don't like share much of our personal life just because out of respect for his privacy. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, I have been single a lot, especially in my 20s, where I was dating a lot of these Peter Pans. And a Peter Pan can be a man or a woman. It's just someone who is just never wants to settle down or is just kind of stringing you along, just wants to have fun with you and doesn't see it actually, or maybe they never want to get into like a serious relationship.
And that's the thing here. And that even ties into another submission I got, which was like, people don't realize how much of a nightlife city this is. And I don't mean that as in like, oh, there's a lot of bars here. I mean like, no, your friends are going to be going out all the time.
Oh.
So like, I remember before I moved here, I was like, this is a great opportunity for me to get even healthier. It's going to be, the sun is always going to be out. I'm going to go to the gym all the time. Like, I'm going to be around all these good looking people that are going to motivate me to want to work out more often. But you're not looking at the other aspect is like, oh, I'm also going to be drinking more often. I'm also going to be, our friends are going to a concert again when I just needed another night to break. So somebody did say that. They were like, it's hard to like relax, be healthy when things are always happening.
Oh, 100%. Even me, who I don't drink a lot, but dry January or trying to take a break from drinking is hard.
Yeah. Because
you're right. There's something always going on. You don't want to like feel FOMO. And that's why I just kind of have been sticking to mocktails sometimes. But I get it. We are a drinking city for sure.
Yeah.
I did ask the audience real quick, just to end this on a positive note, like, what are some things you didn't realize moving to Austin that you would love so much and that, like, you're happy about?
Cool.
A lot of people said that the people in Austin are so friendly and you'll never be bored because there's so much to do.
I absolutely love that one because when you go online, if you're on Reddit or if you look at comments, it makes it seem like everybody's like grumpy and angry and they're like, don't move here. But I've never had these things happen in person. Everybody's nice in person.
Are you the one that posted a video from like the early 90s about they were interviewing some Austinite guy and it was 1993 and he was like, what do you want to say about Austin?
I know the video, but yeah, that wasn't me.
Well, they interviewed some Austinite guy from 1993 and they were like, what do you want to say about Austin? And he was like, don't move here. And I'm like, they've been saying this for decades. And, I was just telling somebody else this story about it because I think the don't move here thing is silly when you really break it down. I was like on a Facebook St. Petersburg group of Florida. I don't know how it popped up as like something. And people in the comments were like, too many people are moving to St. Petersburg, Florida. Get out of my hometown. And I'm like, wow. So every city is acting like that. Oh my gosh.
It's not just Austin.
No, literally, like, anytime I visit somewhere, Charleston, Denver, New York, I'll get someone being like, hey, that's my city. Hope you enjoy, but don't move here.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay.
And then I'm like, you better believe in borders then because you're like telling everybody you don't want to live here. It's like, oh, are we not the U.S.? Are we not allowed to move around?
I think gatekeeping a city is insane. Like,
it's insane. I get saying if you're going to come here, like, don't change it, and that's one of the reasons I feel very justified in being here is because, like, my personality fits Austin, and I am evolving into what the city is. I ask questions, I meet the people, and it's like I can see myself becoming that person. But I get it when people complain that you do get a person from whatever state. I'm not going to say the state that everybody says. And then they're like, yeah, I'm just here because of my job sent me here, and I have all this money to get bottle service, and I don't give a F about the people that live here. Like, that's a bad person to come here, for sure. But there's a lot of people that come here that are open and friendly, and they just want to evolve to the city that they're in.
Yeah. I also think it goes against what Texans truly stand for if you are rude or mean to new people that moved here.
Yeah.
Like, how can you tell someone, like, go back to where you're from? Like, we're supposed to be, friendly Texans. Southern hospitality is a real thing, but you're going to be an asshole to people just because they were seeking like a better life somewhere that they heard was great and want to share in what you also find great. I just think it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. It's a weird thing. I don't know.
It's weird. The city is small, but the city is small enough to easily access all parts.
Yes.
Even though it's by car.
100% agree with that.
Yeah.
You know-
Again, coming from San Antonio, where everything was so spaced out, I always compare my life now to my life then, and it's just way easier here, and I love it.
A little trip to the Domain, you can get there in 20 minutes sometimes, and you want to do even a trip to like go tubing is like 45 minutes south. Downtown, I can walk there from where I live. I don't know. It's very accessible to do things, and you can do day trips that are easy to do stuff that are fun.
Agreed. Someone said more people value creativity over productivity here. I love that.
I love that. Yeah, and it's funny too because, when you tell somebody at a bar that you have this idea of a business or you're thinking of making a career change, people are like excited to hear that and they don't judge you. Whereas like, yeah, there is other cities that they'll be like, what do you mean you're going to change your career path? That's not good for you. You're not going to make enough money. But here people are they understand that.
Yeah, and even people who do have a corporate job, a lot of the people I meet like have something creative that they love doing on the side, maybe not even making money, just something to like fill their cup. And I love that about Austin. I agree that people are really like supportive of creative ideas here. Like I was like, before we started the podcast, I was nervous about telling people that I was going to do it, or I was thinking about it. And I just assumed like everyone would be a hater because there are a lot of podcasts out right now, but not many Austin lifestyle podcasts. And people were just really supportive. And of course, there's going to be haters in everything we do, but you kind of have to just shut them out and do whatever makes you happy.
Absolutely.
Period. Someone said, and I like this one too, that Austin is so casual and non-materialistic. And I think that goes well with what you said earlier, and that if you have that mentality and you bring that with you to Austin, then you're going to fit in just fine and people are going to welcome you. But if you come with that, like, I'm just here for the bottle service and like, where do you work and what can I get from you? Like, that's a very LA mentality to me, and I don't like that. That's why I don't think I would ever make it in LA. Because people just care about like,
what do you do for a living? That's such a good point, and I don't hear that very often.
Anytime I meet people, no one says like, what do you do for a living?
Yeah.
What do you do for work? Like, most people don't care because we all understand that just working and jobs, it's like, it's not like maybe it is your passion, which I hope it is, but sometimes it's not. And that doesn't define you. Your corporate job doesn't define you. Like, what are you interested in? What do you do for fun? And I love that about Austin.
Me too.
I always have. So I totally agree with that.
I would say it's also a very healthy city. I know people might be concerned because sometimes we say we're going to be going out drinking all the time and there's a lot of nightlife. But if you are able to not go out all the time, there's so many groups, like the running clubs. There's a lot of healthy places to eat. I know somebody actually complained that they didn't realize that it's just like Tex-Mex, barbecue, and steak, somebody said, which is partially true. But I've seen so many good, like what's the place downtown? Eat Greens, something.
Mad Greens?
There's Mad Greens is one place.
Or Sweet Green?
Sweet Green. Like that's downtown. There's a lot of food trucks. There's a lot of smoothie places to go.
There's a lot.
You really could eat healthy if you wanted to all the time. And then, there's so many different gyms. There's so many different group classes you can take. There's like, you can go to Zilker Park to join yoga stuff. And then there's all these team sports you can do as well as like pickleball. There's basketball groups that you can join. So
I agree. We're a very fit city. I love that about us too. Super friendly people, like we said, the energy, sense of community. Someone from Seattle said, I'm from Seattle and Austin has better coffee.
Wow.
I was like, Ooh, like, okay. Coffee
Which I've been getting
connoisseurs.
into coffee. So
What?
yeah, you know what it is? It's alcohol. I've been having like frozen coffee drinks, and then I had an espresso martini recently, and I was like, you know what? This isn't so bad. So now I'm like, should I just try a regular coffee one day?
Oh my gosh. I love that for you. We're going to get you into coffee soon. Live music, any band or artist I love is touring here all the time, and there are amazing local artists and culture.
Yep,
Agree with that.
100%.
And someone that I assume is from the North wrote, I like that we get to be outside most of the year. It's sunny.
I mean, did I write that? Was that me? Because that's so true. That's what I was saying. Somebody was like, it gets too hot here, but there's a difference between like it's hot, but the sun is still coming through your windows at your house, makes you feel good. If you get seasonal depression, that doesn't happen here. Maybe you get like the hot. I don't know if the hot bothers you, but
I was like, well, I do get August seasonal depression.
okay. Yeah, because for me, it's more about like the sun shining. If I wake up and I like open my blinds and I just feel that like brightness, I get happy.
How does the sun setting earlier affect you in the winter?
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of that.
I
But-
feel like we have it not as bad as, again, the East Coast, though.
Yeah.
It gets dark there at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I'm telling you, back then when I had a 9 to 5, you go to work, you come home, you just eat food, watch Netflix, and you fall asleep. Some people are probably like, that sounds amazing. I'm like, but no, it's just draining when you have no plans, there's no events happening, and it's just cold every day. And you get in your car and it's stale and you're shaking and you just want to punch the steering wheel.
I may have mentioned this before, but I was in Boston for their winter in 2014, 15, and literally we just stayed inside
Yeah.
for 2 weeks because the snow, and it got dark at 4 p.m. And my ex at the time was like, all right, we're going to go to a house party at 11. Are you down? And I'm like, it's bedtime. Like, the sun is gone. It's 4
Yeah.
p.m.
It's a different lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, like during the holidays, it's nice because it might snow and you're just wearing sweaters and you have not a bonfire, like a fire in the house going, and there is a vibe to it. But that's only the rare, occasion. It's not every day. So
Yeah. Now, I will take our terrible 100-degree weather over a insane winter storm
Yep.
any day.
Yep.
Even though I love the cold, I don't love it that much.
Yeah. And there's differences. It's like, cool, 50 degrees is great. But 20 degrees with rain and slush and cloudiness is terrible.
People don't realize this about snow. It's only pretty the first day.
Yeah. And then it just gets muddy and dirty.
It's disgusting. It's like covered in gasoline sludge on the side of the roads. And I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah, exactly.
But now I'm just being a hater. Well, we ended it on a positive note. Those are our lists and your lists of things that people wish they knew before moving to Austin, a few things we wish we knew before moving to Austin. And obviously, there's way more to love about here than to dislike, in our opinion.
Big time.
But yeah, anything else?
I don't think so. I think we hit a lot.
We did. We yapped a lot.
And you're going to see this after weekend 1 of ACL, but I'm just excited at this moment because ACL is almost here.
Yes.
So if you see us, come say hi. Weekend 2.
Oh, yeah. And if you still need those ACL Fest tips, we did a whole episode on it.
Yes.
Before weekend 2. So
And I will be vlogging it. So go to the ATX Drinker and subscribe. That's a demand.
subscribe to us first.
Yeah. And then reverse. Come back here.
Yes. And I did see a few of y'all left us reviews on Spotify, which thank you so much.
Yes.
Anyone who hasn't yet, please leave us 5 stars. It helps us so much and helps us defeat the trolls.
And we're not on Apple yet, but we're going to get on Apple. Let us know in the comments if there's like any other platforms you want us to be on. We are working on that. Also, we got comments about the volume. We're working on that too. That'll be up. I think after this episode, the volume should be higher.
I hope so. If
but-
not, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we're only on episode 10 or 11. So whatever, we're just going to improve. And that's one thing about us is like with our social media, our lives in general, I think we're like self-improvement people. So expect us to just get better and better and better. And we're excited for the future.
Yes. So again, signing off, I'm Rachel at 512 Bites. This is Anthony at the ATX Drinker. And we will catch you on the next episode.
See you next time.
Bye.